Hello, everyone. Another Monday night, and I'm Ashley Koff. I'm a registered dietitian. If you've been here before, you know the drill. In front of you, you can text digest123 to 44222 to get the free digestive tune-up guide. We're going to be talking a lot about digestion tonight as we dive into how to have a healthier Thanksgiving week. If you haven't been here before, go ahead and do that. And also, please share with me where you're joining me from, what you're most concerned about for Thanksgiving. I'm going to share what my concerns are, and how I'm helping my patients address them. Also, if you have, as you're telling me this, if you have anything specifically that you would like me to talk about in December, I'm taking requests right now for what my December Facebook Lives will be like. So hello to everyone. I hope you're having a great evening. Let's dive into it. So, my first comment when it comes to holidays is that holidays are a day, right? So what really undoes us during the holidays, hello, thank you for saying hi. What really undoes us during the holidays is when we roll one day into several days. So one of my favorite tips for the holidays is to identify a day off. So this week, maybe your day off is going to be Thursday, and maybe it's not. Interestingly, maybe you feel like, you know what, I'm going to be able to do great during the holidays on Thursday, but it's really for me when, and Christina, moderation for sure. It's when, everybody comes over on Friday, or it's the party that I go to with my friends on Saturday. So what you want to plan ahead on is what is going to be that one day off. So we're Monday right now. So make sure you have picked out what that day off is going to be. And so as a result, we want to do our best to have our days on, to stay on plan, during this week. So what does that mean? Well, first and foremost, it means paying attention to your sleep, making sure that we're supporting our digestion, and also really working to nutrient balance as well as to hit the regular pit stops. Because if we go into Thursday, Friday being off our game, so if we go out and party it up tonight or tomorrow night, and we're exhausted, or maybe we're trying to fit all this extra work in before Wednesday hits, which I totally get, or maybe we're prepping for Thursday, and as a result, we're not doing great on our sleep, or we decide to not get exercise in. I get it. Life happens. But the challenge is, how can we make sure that we're at least feeling mostly better, going into Thursday, because it's so much harder to make better decisions when, you're fatigued or if you're dealing with pain. Thank you. And happy Thanksgiving to you too. What are some of the things that we can do? Well, one of the things that we can be doing this week to make sure that we're focusing on our sleep is making sure that we're getting in enough magnesium. Because remember, magnesium is the nutrient that belongs in our cells to help turn off our stress response, to help us go to bed better. You might also do what I do, which is I take off these glasses and I put on a mask, especially because if I'm traveling and I'm going somewhere where there's more light on in the room, or maybe other people are turning on lights because we're sharing a room, or any of those things, it can be really good. Or maybe you want to sleep on a plane. Try doing putting on the mask on that front. Magnesium will also be helpful if you're traveling. Another thing that you can do this week to make sure you're on your A game is make sure you're getting enough water in. So, certainly you can do the Better Water evaluation. That just means hopping over to the website at ashleykoffapprove.com and, making sure that you know what your Better Water number is and getting that in more often. Excellent, Christina. And I might say I am too. I've got some natural calm going on in here with my water. So we want to make sure that we're getting in water. And then I have a couple of other tips for the actual holidays as they're happening. And you can read further about this in my blog. So if you're commenting here like Christina is, and even if you do it after and you're watching this not live tonight and you want to put a comment in here, just say hi or yes or help me, any of those, then I will go ahead and send over to you certainly the information on how to get the digestive guide, but then also the link to the blog that goes over these 3 rules. So the first rule that you want to pay attention to, we already talked about. That is taking a day off and being conscious of that day off. So this week, it may be your Thursday, it might be your Friday, but we want to make the other days be days on. And then the real question is, what's going to be the day off next week? And my recommendation is not to have that day off be Monday or Tuesday, unless you know that you're traveling those days. So like the 27th, 28th, if you're traveling, you want that to be your day off. but maybe you want to try to do well on those days and have your day off be a day later on in the week so you can kind of get back into a rhythm. And then go through your calendar for the rest of the month and circle a day each week that you know you're going to have something going on for the holidays, and it will help you just do better. So that's rule number 1, the day off. The second rule is and this is the biggest game changer. If you haven't heard or tested out my 7 to 10 rule, oh my goodness, this is going to be a game changer for you. So I learned a long time ago for myself and with my patients that what makes us not feel good after the holidays, whether it's weight gain, whether it's being under the weather, whether it's our skin isn't looking great, whatever it is that makes us not feel great at the end of the holidays. Sometimes it's even we just feel a bit like, well, the holidays happened and I feel like they kind of took me down with it, any of that stuff. So what doesn't make us feel good is actually not the food and the alcohol that scores a 7 to 10. It's the 4, 5s, and 6s that do it because we tend to overdo it on the 4, 5s, and 6s. So here's where I'm going to throw a little wrinkle in that moderation comment. Hi, Tim, and totally stress is a factor. So stress is a huge factor. Exercise, breathing, magnesium. But here's what I want to do to help us also stress a little bit less about, can I enjoy something delicious? The answer is yes. Ditch the, if you think about the D in holidays, it should not mean diet. It should not mean deprivation. It should mean delicious. I want you to choose to actively seek out things that are delicious. And here's why. When we let ourselves and when we choose to enjoy what's delicious, guess what? We are satisfied. We feel amazing. We feel like, oh my gosh, I got to enjoy something delicious, right? Give me a high five or say, tell me what something delicious is that you're looking forward for the holidays, right? So in terms of delicious, I don't like pumpkin pie. You could stick any pumpkin pie in front of me and it is not going to be delicious. But what I can tell you is my friend Christina, she makes amazing, delicious vegetable sautés and different vegetables. And a D in moderation, exactly. But here's the thing, Tim, I don't want you to be moderate about the 4, 5s, and 6s. So let's go back to that rule. So if on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being like, oh my God, it's the worst tasting thing I've ever tried, and 10 being, oh my gosh, it is the best bite or sip that I've ever tasted in my whole life, I want you to hit the 7 to 10s. Because here's the thing, we talk a big game about moderation and we end up filling up on a lot of 4, 5s, and 6s. So if you've ever eaten a cookie that wasn't great, right now, admit to it. Tell me right in here that yes, I've eaten a cookie that doesn't taste great, right? And absolutely, Tamara. So we are only going then. You're looking forward for the mashed potatoes, right? Tell me if you have any fermented cranberry sauce. Oh my gosh. Do you have that on your site? She'll tell me in a second. If she has that fermented cranberry sauce on her site, we're going to have to go get that recipe. So I'd be down for that because I love me some fermented cranberry sauce. So it's got to be delicious. And the thing about it being delicious is that if it's a delicious glass of wine, or if it's a delicious cookie, or if it's something that next year or even next week you're going to remember to tell me, I want you to enjoy that. But if it doesn't score a 7 to 10, and it's on her website. Hello. Oh goodness. I think it's olardi.com. I'll double check, but I think fermented cranberry sauce is at olardi.com. We got to go over there and get that recipe. Okay. And it's ohalardy.com. So we're in the realm. So first rule, day off. Second rule, 7 to 10. I'll tell you, it's one of the game changers for me in terms of being able to say, I might bite into something and think it's going to be delicious, and then it turns out it isn't delicious. So that's easy for me to move on from. So remember, when you are eating it, it has to rank a 7 to 10. Otherwise, you put it aside. If you are sipping on it, it has to be, and this is alcohol or not, it has to be a 7 to 10. Otherwise, and don't tell me that water doesn't taste delicious. Okay. If water doesn't taste delicious, that's a pass. You just need to get it in there. But we can also make it taste delicious. So for example, you can try the Young Living, lemon drops or peppermint drops. And if you want the recipe for the fermented cranberry sauce, It's right in here. Tamara put it up for her website for the fermented cranberry sauce. But you could also use essential oils to make your water taste great. Or you could do another tip that I was going to talk about in a moment, which is adding that, which I'm obsessed with, is the digestive oil, essential oil that you turn me onto. And I put that into droppers in my herbal tea or even in my natural calm. I love it. Okay. So rule number 1, day off. Rule number 2, 7 to 10. Now the rule number 3 is about drinking. Eggnog. All right. Here we go. 9 sips. That's the rule. I'm not talking about gulping. You may have recently seen me on Dr. Oz with a glass of wine and we were going like this. I want to be honest. I didn't really even take a sip of it. My hands were really shaky. It was early in the morning and I think by the time I'd finished, my blood sugar was dropping or maybe I had had coffee. And so I'm going like this and I was shaking and I actually couldn't get it onto my mouth and I didn't want to spill on camera. So I didn't have any of that, but I could guzzle some wine like that. But that's not better. So on a day off, fresh fruit and water, absolutely. And you could totally try the purple tea, absolutely. So what we want to focus on here is 9 sips is the rule. If you want to have alcohol, let's say you want to have 1 glass of wine, you can have 9 sips of it. If you want to have eggnog, you could have 9 sips of it. Now in that case, that should be your treat. That's your dessert, right? Now remember, this is if it's one of the days on plan. If it's a day off, I don't care. I'm not having the conversation. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not counting it, right? But if it's a day on, 9 sips. And the reason 9 sips is so much better than memorizing like 4 ounces is we aren't very good at eyeballing 4 ounces. And also, we can also get ourselves in the situation of an ever-flowing, ever-refilling glass where you won't remember if it was 4 ounces. And the other thing is, I don't know about you, but I like to party hop. So I might go from one party to another and I want to have a glass in my hand. So what I do is I count throughout the night a total of 9 sips. So we want 9 sips. That's it. If it's a day on. And that could be 9 sips of your Tito's of soda. It could be 9 sips of your eggnog. It could be 9 sips of a mocktail that maybe you're enjoying or a cocktail, right? And so if you do that, remember, you're only having the 9 sips if it's delicious. If you taste 1 sip and it's not delicious, it doesn't pass rule number 2. You don't get to be in the 9 sip rule, right? All right. So that's my 3rd rule. So when it comes to those are the rules that I use for handling the holidays better and getting through from a party standpoint. So now let's talk a little bit of digestion and let's talk about some of those tips that can really help you out during Thanksgiving. You might want a pen and paper or you might just want to comment. You can comment yes, you can say hi, you can tell me a favorite recipe, you can tell me whatever you want. If you put something in the comment section, I'll send you over the link to my Full Script account, which has all of these products over on there as well. So I mentioned Natural Calm. I'm a big fan. I love to rub the cream in my shoulders, especially if I'm traveling or in my sacrum. So the magnesium gets in there. If I'm going somewhere where there's a clean bath, I also like to use the Calm bath. So lots of ways to get that in. But there's also another thing that will help you in the moment, especially if you feel like you've overdone it a little, or if you eat something that maybe you don't normally eat and you're like, oh, I really want to try it. It actually was delicious, but it might not agree with me. And I'm talking about digestive enzymes. So these are the ones, the amylase, the lipase, the protease. So these enzymes are similar to, if you know anyone who's lactose intolerant that takes a lactase, and Tamara's obsessed with Calm, ditto, like who isn't, right? I know like 1 or 2 people, and that's, in my opinion, I'm still working on them because I think they will love it. The Calm cream is phenomenal. And as I've mentioned to others before, I like to put the Calm cream on my sacrum and then get in the car and turn on the butt warmer. And it turns into like a DIY massage. So if you have anywhere that you have to be driving, I highly recommend that. You could also do it for your passenger so that maybe they tend to be a little bit more tense while you're driving, and you could totally do that. More enjoyable trip. Okay, so I digress. Digestive enzymes are really great. They help. They're like personal assistants for the digestive system in the moment. They help to break down food. There are like some extra forks and knives. Maybe we're eating too quickly during the holidays, and they help us. And they can be really helpful to help you go to bed feeling less full. Now, they're not going to undo calories, so they're not a weight loss trick, but they are promoting healthier digestion. I was mentioning before from, from Young Living, I love the, and Tamara can put a code up here if she wants, the digestive, the digestive oil. I'm a really big fan. I got this starter kit of all of these oils. And so I've been playing around, like my house smells so beautiful. This is another great tip, is to change up the smell of your house. So if you've been cooking, especially if it smells like something amazing, let it smell amazing while you're luring people in, but then you need it to stop smell amazing or you're going to keep craving that food. So if you made amazing chocolate chip cookies, that smell can linger for a day or two and it can really make you crave those chocolate chip cookies. So what I love to do is I like to use my diffuser, which I got from Young Living. Thank you, Tamara. And I put my, I'm loving in my bedroom frankincense, but in my kitchen, I'm using lavender. And there's this stress relief one that I stress away that I'm really loving. So I highly recommend it. It's also a great hostess gift if you're going and traveling to someone. And it may be that it's too soon for Thanksgiving, but you could always get it for, into the holidays. So that one I'm a really big fan of. And then I also, so I've been putting the digestive one in my, water. And then I also really think, something else that can be really helpful is the homeopathic remedies. So homeopathic remedies are great because you're not going to worry about interference with any medications. You're not going to have to worry about interference, with nutrient absorption or anything else like that. And they work instantly. So if they're not working instantly, they're not going to work for you, but they should be working instantly. So a couple of my favorites on that part. So the brand Byron, Boiron. And what I like from that one is, there's one called Nux, Nux Vomica, Vomica. And it is exactly what you're thinking, like not gonna vomit, right? So if you've overdone it with alcohol, with food, and you're just not feeling great, Digest Blend, that's exactly what I love. I totally love that. And you can rub it on your belly. Great tip, Tamara. Okay, great. Will you do me a favor and put a code in there for where people can get it? They can just go over to your, whatever your Young Living code is, so that people can get that. That'd be awesome. In terms of getting, and you guys, by the way, if you missed the whole essential oil, Facebook Live with Tamara, please go back into my video section here, on Facebook and download and watch that one. Totally game changer, including how I now add to my wool dryer balls. I add a little bit of lavender oil. My clothes have never smelled better. I'm totally loving that part. Except for I also love washing my clothes. And so instead of dry cleaning, so those already were smelling good, but this is an upgrade to the ones I was putting in the dryer, and my sheets and my pillows. So I'm totally loving that. Love fennel tea for digestion. Great, great tip. So Christina is mentioning another great tip. I want to go back to the Byron. So the Nux Vomica, and then also Acilea coxum and Sabadil. There are a number of different ones that can be helpful. Let's talk about tea, though. I love that fennel tea. One of the things about fennel seeds and caraway seeds is they can also really help you if you're getting any gas or bloating. So they help us to expel that. So you will still pass the gas. You can go do that elsewhere. But that can be really helpful for you. So a lot of times I actually will serve those just as it's an option to just sprinkle on top of your food, and that can be a fun way. Or you could make a fennel or a ginger tea. And I feel like getting that part in, you can also, as Tamara was saying, use the Digest Blend. I want to call it Digest Blend of ginger, peppermint, essential oils, and you can get that, through that link. And then that way, you can have that in a small glass of water after dinner, which is good too, because it changes the taste of the palate. Christina's like the fennel tea works wonders. Does anyone else have any good tips? Please send them in, because, we all got to get through these holidays together. So another one, that's really important to think about is, your food combining through the holidays. So one of the things that, you may want to think about, and this just depends on, from a digestive health standpoint, how good you're doing going in. But if you're feeling feeling a little bit more full, then what I'll tell people to do is at their main meal, especially if you are having animal protein, and maybe it's something that you don't normally have, then what I would recommend doing is having the animal protein and your veggies, and then waiting a bit, and maybe even going and getting some exercise, running outside, any of that stuff before you have the pie. So skipping, I know it sounds criminal, but skipping the cornbread or any of the bread goods, the stuffing or the potatoes, skipping them with say if you're having turkey with gravy and some cooked vegetables, having that, and not having the potato. You could totally have the potato at a different meal. But if you're worried about your digestive system or you tend to deal with that, that's going to be more helpful. And remember, to get more tune-up ideas, you can text digest123 to 44222 to get the free guide. Okay, so I want to recap my tips, especially if you're just joining now. Hello. It is so hard, Tim, and I feel you. And remember, if it's your day off, who cares? But if it's a day that you're not taking off and you're trying to do better, or if you're worried about the holidays, I have a lot of people that say their stomach actually ruins the holidays for them. So I was also trying to respond to some of those requests that I received before tonight to talk about, what are some of the quick tips. Another tip is having a soup, a puree soup, and that can be really easy on the stomach. That might be what you have for lunch if you're having a dinner, or you have it the following day. Like maybe you have a smoothie in the morning, which is going to be a little easier on your system. Okay, so we're talking about rules. Take a day off each week. Circle it on the calendar, adhere to it, and then get right back on. So that's going to be important. The second rule is the deliciousness rule. So only consume something if it scores a 7 to 10 on a scale of delicious. Ditch the 4, 5s, and 6s. And I promise you, you will enter, not just end the holidays, but you will enter 2018 being like, I did it, I got it, I feel good. And that's what we want. Okay, and then the third one is in terms of when you do decide to sip. 9 sips is what really makes up a serving. So it's not ounces of wine or how much of a cocktail or any of that thing. And make the choice that's going to be delicious. A mocktail, an eggnog, whatever you're having, just 9 sips is going to be your serving. And it should really count as your dessert or your treat. Again, if it's a day on, if it's a day off, go do what you're going to do. I don't need to know about it, right? But I'm talking about how do I keep you on plan. All right. And then we were talking about a bunch of other things that can be really helpful for you from a digestive standpoint, which you can rewind and watch and repeat and do all over again. So I hope everybody, please, I hope you travel safe. I hope your loved ones are safe. I hope that you have just so much fun and enjoy deliciousness. That's my goal for you for the holidays, especially for Thanksgiving. And remember, on Monday night, I'll be coming live to you from Columbus, Ohio, where I'm from. And I will be able to talk about our liver and our digestion so that we can get things back in order before we do it all over again, depending on what holidays you're celebrating or what you're doing for the month of December. So thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you heard and what you learned, please share this. I'm trying to get as much free, better nutrition information to people for free as possible. If you want any of my materials, just hit a comment in the comment section and I'll send them over to you. And happy holidays, everyone. And please also remember to check out, Tamara added a couple of great links in there and some comments. And Christina was telling me about fennel tea, which is so great. And we talked about the natural calm cream. I'm trying to see if I missed if anyone had any questions tonight. I think nobody's got questions because I think everybody's just ready to ask their questions after the holidays of like, how do we rebound better? Okay, so I will leave you all. Let's see if I can leave you with a picture of Sleeping Beauty over there. I'm not sure if I think it might. I mean, can you believe this dog's life? He's so cute. There's Rerun. He's just, hanging out over there. So anyway, I hope everyone has holidays where they get to snuggle with their Rerun and enjoy the time with their family. So take care, everyone. I'll see you next week. And of course, if you need anything, hit me up either on Facebook or over through my website at ashleykoffApproved.com. Take care.